Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Salary and Labor Committee meeting, September 27th, 9 a.m., room 250. I'd like to call that meeting to order, please. I'm Areta Zanecki, Chair, and we will do roll call, please. Jill Burnell.
Here.
Beth Finley-Smith.
Here.
Joe Oskapinski.
Here.
Kathy Owens.
Here.
Tom Walsh.
Here.
Craig Emmett.
Here.
We also have with us today Chuck Godwin, Lori Wakeman, Jake Holland, John Haig, Jennifer Ebner, Brian Gift. We have board members Gary Small, Lou Corretto, Doug Traeger. We have Chairman Jensen with us. We have the sheriff with us. We have Don Ernest, and we have Megan and James Bailey. We also have legal, Mark Anderson, and HR, Melissa Pilch. Did I leave anybody out? Okay, welcome all. We have a full schedule today, so we're going to start right off the bat here. Citizen comment. Do we have any citizen comment? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. Everyone has seen those. Beth Finley-Smith, second by Jill Burnell. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. We will start right away with County Clerk, replacement position and wage setting.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here to ask to set a wage for a new tax extender clerk in my office. My office manager went to committee last week because I was at conference and could not attend, and committee has given me permission to come to Salary and Labor. So we're looking to, after speaking with Melissa, we're looking at starting around 50,000 and then going up to about 55 if we absolutely have to.
Do we have any questions from the committee? Beth?
What was the previous person's wage?
The previous person left getting 63,000 a year.
Any other concerns? Ms. Owens?
So starting at 50?
Well, between 50, 55, depending on who I can get. If it's somebody that's not skilled as much, closer to 50. If it's somebody more skilled, closer to 55. Or if I notice that I'm not getting anybody applying for the position at 50, maybe I could get, slowly increase up to 55.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other discussion on this committee? Hearing none, do I have a motion? Beth Finley-Smith. Do I have a second? Craig Emmett. We'll do a roll call vote. Jill Burnell.
Nay.
Beth Finley-Smith.
Aye.
Joe Oskapinski.
Aye.
Kathy Owens.
Aye.
Tom Walsh. Craig Emmett.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving along, we have judicial courts, bailiff starting salary. Lori?
Good morning, everyone. I'm here today on behalf of the Chief Judge to request an increase in the starting salary of a bailiff, regardless of whether they're full-time or part-time. The full-time bailiffs and the part-time bailiffs perform the same duties and should earn the same compensation. The only difference is benefits. Bailiffs are non-union employees. So the current starting salary is $15.74 per hour with a 50-cent per hour increase after the successful completion of the 6-month probationary period. So it would be $16.24 or $33,779. With the 5% increase that was approved by the full board for non-union employees effective on 12/1, that would put the starting salary at $16.53 plus 50 cents per hour. And after the 6 months probationary period, the wage would then be $17.03 or $35,422. We're here asking to increase the starting salary to $19.50 per hour plus 50 cents per hour increase after the completion of the 6 months probationary period, which would then be a salary of $41,600. I'm here asking for this increase out of necessity, and we would request that it be effective October 1st. So a little background, we've had one vacancy since August of 2021 that we have not been able to fill, so it's 2 years now. We lost another bailiff in September of this year due to the low wages. He was making $16.14 an hour, and that could not sustain him. We have a third vacancy going to occur at the end of October due to retirement. He's been with us for 10 years and he's ready to retire. 2 more are eligible to retire in 2024. I have one going to probably go in the spring. I have one probably going to go in the fall. So that will leave me with 5 vacancies out of 8 positions that are full-time bailiffs. So we've been filling in with part-time bailiffs, but with that many vacancies, I don't know that we can continue to do that. So we need to increase the wage in order to be more competitive in attracting and retaining good candidates for these positions. And I'm hoping that once the starting salary is established, that every year I don't have to come back and ask to increase it. I would just assume that the raise given to all the employees would just, gradually get everybody up. I do want to see the wages be such that people want a career in LaSalle County. So if the increase in the starting salary is approved, I would like to request that the current bailiffs receive $4.26 per hour in order to be above the starting wage effective October 1st as well, with no increase given on 12/1 of 23, which is the 5% increase approved by the full board. So currently there's 8 full-time bailiffs and 6 part-time bailiffs. I'm hoping that if we increase the wages, that either a current part-time bailiff will want to take the position full-time. Maybe one of the guy that just retired in September would maybe think about coming back. And maybe one of the eligible bailiffs next year would reconsider retiring next year. I would expect to see a budget savings next year once those 2 do retire. So what I'm asking for October 1st, my budget for FY23 can support those increases in addition to hopefully hiring 1 or 2 bailiffs at the new rate. So Judge and I have had a lot of conversations about this. We've also talked to the sheriff a little bit about it. If we're unable to fill these full-time positions, we're looking to maybe have the sheriff take over court security in place of the bailiffs. And of course, those wages are considerably higher, plus the sheriff might have to pay overtime to cover the courts. So a court security currently employed by the Sheriff's Department, starting wage as of 12/1/23 is $29.89 per hour, or $62,177. The current full-time court security offers that are working, they're already going to be earning more than that new starting salary. So if we were to have court security turned over to the Sheriff's Department, you would be paying approximately $165,000 more plus overtime. So typically in the state of Illinois, most of the court security people are not employed by the Chief Judge's Office. They're employed by the Sheriff's Department. We're one of the few that actually employ them through the Chief Judge's Office. And we do understand that court security officers employed by the Sheriff's Department have different training and responsibilities than the bailiffs do, which is why there is a difference in the salary. But bailiffs also have an important duty and responsibility managing the courtrooms and the general public, and also put themselves at risks on a daily basis. I suggest that on any given day you come and observe the criminal courts especially, and civil courts as well, because most people aren't happy when they come to court and the bailiffs have to control them. So that is my request today. And Judge is in court, but if you have any questions for him, I could go get him and bring him down as well.
Committee, do you have any questions for Lori? Okay. Craig?
Bailiffs are unarmed civilians and they help manage the court system and manage the process of moving them through. My court security is armed with firearms, armed with tasers, have powers of arrest, bulletproof vests on, and they're certified or they're certified as peace officers.
Any other questions from the committee? Then I would ask for a motion.
Madam
She-
Chair. So Lori, these are non-union.
These are non-union.
What do you figure is a percentage increase on these? And also, the ones that are here, how much percentage increase are you looking? What was it, 440 an hour?
426.
426?
The percentage raise that I had figured in for them was the 5% that you guys had approved originally. That would put, most of my guys are all under $20 to begin now, currently. Two of my bailiffs are close, if not over, but that would give them about $1 or $1.04 an hour raise. And I'm sorry, I did not figure out what percentage this would be.
Craig?
Yeah, let's walk through one time. What's the starting wage?
Currently, it's $15.74 with a 50-cent per hour increase after 6 months.
You want to take it to?
I want to take it to $19.50 plus 50 cents per hour
After 6 months.
after the 6 months. With no raise, additional raise given on 12/1. This would be it. Like it October 1st. I
Madam
really
Chair.
would like it October 1st so I can get advertising for these positions. Like I said, I'm down 2 right now, going to be down a 3rd at the end of October. Is that what-
I'm sorry, Melissa?
What's the starting wage?
Right now, 15.70.
After the 6 month, give me
Oh.
the after the 6 month for both,
16.24
and then 20.
and then 20 after 6.
It's an 8%.
Lori, I have a question. How much does this increase your budget in payroll? Overall.
Approximately $70,000.
Tom, do you have a question?
Do we have this as a motion? Is that on? Or not? Okay. Well, I'll make the motion.
Just a second.
No.
Did you have a question? Jill?
Lori, but this would still be cheaper than handing it over to the sheriff
Yeah, so it would be
by quite a bit,
by
correct?
about $164,000.
Thank you. I would second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Walsh to have the starting salary of bailiffs to be $19.50 per hour plus 50 cents after 6 months,
And no raise.
and no raise on 12/1 of '23, and effective 10/1
And
'23.
the 426, or is that a separate motion? For the,
That should probably be separate.
okay. I have a lot to ask.
Okay, so we have a motion, first and a second. We'll do a roll call vote, please. Jill Brunel,
Aye.
Beth Finley Smith.
Aye.
Joe Oskapinski.
Aye.
Kathy Owens.
Aye.
Tom Walsh.
Aye.
Craig Emmett.
Aye.
Okay, Lori, will you help me on, what is it now, the
Yes, I would-
420?
I would like effective 10/1 of '23 to request that the current bailiffs receive $4.26 per hour with no increase given on 12/1 of '23. What's that? The ones that I have? The highest is $20.73. The lowest is $15.74.
Do we have discussion on that? Beth Finley Smith makes a motion, and that is effective 10/1 of '23, a $4.26 increase. Do I have a second on
I'll
that?
second Areta.
Jill Brunel, again, roll call vote, please. Jill Brunel,
Aye.
Beth Finley Smith.
Aye.
Joe Oskapinski.
Aye.
Kathy Owens,
Aye.
Tom Walsh,
Aye.
and Craig Emmett. Motion passes. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you very much.
Moving along, our next one is Judicial Court Services, Management, Non-Union Compensation.
Good morning, everyone. Madam Chair. I'm here to, on behalf of Judge Ryan, to request an increase in the starting base salaries of Judicial Management Union. This was a process that started last year with my predecessor and judge. There was a lot of discussion, some research, comparisons with similar jurisdictions, and in order to get the qualified people we need to do these jobs, we're going to need to bring these salaries up to the starting base salary. So that's all we're asking for at this point. You had already approved the 5% increase across the board for management non-union, which we appreciate, but we still need to take a look at this with the base salaries for the management. The first page I provided you on that handout is the requirements that AOIC has for any of us that are going to be appointed to a supervisory position or a chief managing officer position. These requirements identify an extensive amount of experience within the probation department. My main thought behind providing this to you is so you have an understanding that these aren't positions we're going to be able to just bring somebody in off the street. So these are going to be positions that we're going to have people with this kind of experience come in. And when you compare that to some of the similar jurisdictions we have, we're lacking considerably, which is on some of the additional sheets I have here. On that first sheet with the basic proposal, I'm just going to outline the gist of what we're looking for. For supervisors, we're looking to raise their base salary from $49,911 to $52,407. The assistant director of detention, we're looking to raise that position from $54,903 to $57,648. For director of probation, from $60,707, I'm sorry, director of probation and detention, $60,707, $65,563. Director of Court Services, we're looking at $66,778 and raise it to $72,120. Those would be 5% increases for the supervisors and assistant director of detention, and for the three other director positions, 8% increases. I would like to note this time, we are judicial employees, so these are fully reimbursable by AOIC at 100%. When you're looking at the comparables, I made a request from a third party to provide us some comparisons with jurisdictions similar to us as far as population, demographics, basically our department size. And when you look at that, they start with starting salary range, mid-range, and maximum range. And when you look at our management people, we are severely behind in comparisons. In order to get the qualified people we need to be able to have these brought up. Excuse me. With the second comparison, I used the numbers that Pat had from last year. incorporating our raise from last year, which also shows we were still considerably behind similar jurisdictions. On a side note, the first set of comparisons from that third party, I have no idea who these counties are or these jurisdictions are. It was done anonymously. But they took those basic demographics we talked about to try to get comparisons. So respectfully, we are requesting to increase these starting salaries for our management people. Thank you.
Chuck, I have a question.
Sure.
This is the second year. Is this the end, or will you be coming back in future years? I guess I'm asking, is this a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan,
4-year plan.
4-year plan?
Judge Ryan and Pat put this together with a 4-year plan, looking at fiscal 23, 24, 25, and 26,
Okay,
to do this gradually.
okay, thank you.
So,
Okay, do I have some questions from the committee? Mr. Walsh?
Funding from the state, is this, do you have any information as to what funding? I mean, we're not taking this out of the PPRT or something like that?
no,
Okay.
no, this is
Coming
from the Administrative Office of Illinois Courts,
Okay.
the Supreme Court. So this is,
So it's general fund state money.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from committee members? Okay. I
Madam
think
Chair.
we will, I'm sorry, Chairman
So
Jensen?
this is just, increase in the base salaries then?
Correct.
And there's no moving forward about adjusting any current salaries?
Well, with the current salaries, as far as anybody else that was already past these base salaries, they're going to get the 5% that you had already approved.
Right.
In regards to this, we have 2 supervisor positions open, one in detention, one in probation. And probation's been open since May, and we haven't had any applicants. Jake, how long has it been with detention? So again, similar time frame. We're talking about probably 4 or 5 months. We haven't had any applicants for those positions. And when Judge was looking at this with Pat last year, this is a concern about the future. I mean, with our current management team, we're not going to be around forever. And we need to have people come in and do these jobs. And if we can't bring young people in, I don't know where we're going to go. Stay forever, huh? But just, for an example of what we have, right now I've got supervisors, probation, the ones we have, are covering caseloads beyond their normal duties. I've got a director of detention, assistant director of detention supervisors that are covering shifts right now. Last weekend, director of detention covered all midnight shifts and still came in on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, do his regular job. So we need to be able to replace these folks, these positions.
I have a question, just so I understand, that these salaries are 100% reimbursable.
Correct.
Okay. Committee, do you have any questions? Tom?
Next time you have a study done, could you please ask them to insert the counties? That's, real important to us as board members to know
understand.
where you're coming from.
I understand. And it was a third party, it was AOIC did it. So and they had access to all this information, but they want to maintain anonymity. So I can only do so much for that.
Mr. Traeger, did you have a question?
Chuck, the salaries are reimbursable, are all the benefits too? Is that part of the
No.
salary?
No, that would still be us. But the thing to remember, we're a circuit.
Right.
So LaSalle County pays roughly about 55% of this.
Mhm.
Grundy's somewhere around 25, 26%, and Bureau's around 18% that's contributed to this overall.
Where do the benefits come from? Here, though? In other words,
Yes.
okay,
Comes from us because we're LaSalle County employees,
okay,
but those outer counties reimburse the county too.
okay, for like health insurance and all that stuff. Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions, we will probably break this into the 4 different areas to vote on. Okay, I would ask for a motion to increase probation and detention supervisors from the current 49,911 to the proposed 52,407. And that will be effective on 12/1 of '23. Do I have a motion? Ms. Burnell, do I have a second? Mr. Walsh? We'll do a roll call vote, please. Jill Burnell?
Aye.
Beth Finley Smith?
Aye.
Joe Oskapinski?
Aye.
Kathy Owens?
Aye.
Tom Walsh?
Aye.
Craig Emmett?
Aye.
Next one, I would ask for a motion for the Assistant Director Detention, their current salary is 54,903. The proposed is 57,648. Do I have a motion on that? Ms. Owens, second by Beth Finley Smith. Again, roll call. Jill Burnell?
Aye.
Beth Finley Smith?
Aye.
Joe Oskapinski?
Aye.
Kathy Owens?
Aye.
Tom Walsh?
Aye.
Craig Emmett?
Aye.
A motion to increase probation detention director, currently 60,607, proposed 65,563. Do I have a motion on that?
So move.
Mr. Walsh, do I have a second? Mr. Emmett? Roll call. Jill Burnell?
Aye.
Beth Finley Smith?
Aye.
Joe Oskapinski?
Aye.
Kathy Owens?
Aye.
Tom Walsh?
Aye.
Craig Emmett?
Aye.
And finally, Director of Court Services, an increase from the current minimum 66,778 to 72,120. Do I have a motion on that? Beth Finley Smith, second by Ms. Burnell. Roll call vote. Jill Burnell?
Aye.
Beth Finley Smith?
Aye.
Joe Oskapinski?
Aye.
Kathy Owens?
Aye.
Tom Walsh?
Aye.
And Craig Emmett.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
On behalf of Chief Judge and myself, thank you very much. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Do you have time? We'll do budget? Okay. We're going to do our budget for Fund 42. Thank you.
Okay, this is Fund 42 for your committee. Under the 2024 requested amount, I'll just go through those, and if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer. The professional services physicals, that's all pre-employment expense. We have that at 9,000. We're going to keep it there. Professional services arbitrator expense, I checked with Mr. Anderson, and we're going to put that at 5,000. Travel remains at 500, education 500, miscellaneous 200. Office supply and expense, I'm increasing that because I'm expecting to have to replace computers. So I need to have a little bit in there. My payroll specialist falls under this department, so that expense needs to be in this department. And that computer is coming up as a replacement. Finance moved the Time Clock Plus software into this budget at their last meeting, and that is a annual renewal agreement at $61.60 is the cost, but we put it at $7,000 right now. Payroll is at $125. That includes the 5% approved by the committee and board, and then overtime is sitting at the same $3,000. So it's a small budget. Everything's pretty specific, but I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Walsh?
I got a question on the software. How's that working out? Did that get resolved?
I think there's always some minor ups and downs. Jeannie would probably agree with me on, but yes, it's working in the way that we needed it to work, and we are not doing paper anymore. So, yes.
Okay, I'm just concerned because, I realize that that's something the employees have to work out when it comes up and when there's a problem with it. And and my concern is this a regular maintenance plan that we have, or is this an actual purchase plan?
We already purchased, and it's been rolled out for, are we in year 2? So this is just the renewal agreement cost that we have to pay every year to continue with the software.
It's for updates and maintenance and
Mhm.
everything else.
Yeah, okay. So then,
Yep.
so then it doesn't affect our IT department then because they operate directly with the vendor then on,
I mean, we need our IT support when it's necessary. However, Time Clock Plus is hosted on their, it's going to end up going to their server. It runs through CIC and Time Clock Plus. So we look to our IT department if we need support when it's here, but when it's on their end, they're just helping us try to manage through waiting to get things fixed. So I don't think it's not been regular lately, has it? We worked out kinks, and I think for right now,
okay, today. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Sure. Okay, and John, you concur with the fact that, you know, as far as your element of involvement is concerned, it's normal, routine type thing, or do you consult with the vendor also on it? Mhm. Does this include, I realize this isn't a mechanical thing, it's all program or application, whatever. Is that correct, or is it, is there hardware involved with it?
It's all software based. It's a
Okay.
web interface that is cloud hosted over on CIC server currently.
Okay, so then we're set then for this period of time. They're not going to come back and hit us with the fact that we're going to upgrade, but you're going to have more sophisticated equipment to handle the upgrade, anything like that facing us in the future, or is that?
No, that's why we're maintaining all the computers, making sure we stay on a 5-year cycle so we don't fall behind and have to do massive upgrades to keep stuff running.
Okay. I just want to make sure we got all of our eggs in the basket here so we can, you know, make sure there's enough money there to take care of what's necessary. If that's okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions concerning the budget? Okay, then I would ask for a motion to accept this budget and send it on to finance. Mr. Emmett, second by Beth Finley Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And we will be going into executive session now. I would ask for a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion, Areta.
That is 5 ILCS 120/2 for compensation of specific employees and discretionary leaves. Motion by Ms. Brunel, second by Mr. Emmett. Roll call vote, please. Joe Brunel?
Aye.
Beth Finley Smith?
Aye.
Joe Askapinski?
Aye.
Kathy Owens?
Aye.
Tom Walsh?
Aye.
Craig Emmett?
All right.